Good morning and welcome to the Currane Peninsula and welcome to your Heinrich Böll walk today. Very pleasant morning, it's dry, which is fantastic. The sun is going to come out. I see a little bit of blue there in the sky. So they say that if there's enough of blue to patch a sailor's shirt, you're okay. So that could certainly, our trousers, yeah, whatever the case may be. So we'll have some spectacular views today. The walking is fairly relaxed. You're walking on two bog roads with a little bit of bog in between, just to give you a bit of variety. And then, yeah, a bit of traction. The conditions are really dry. So, I mean, the underfoot is dry, a little bit bumpy here and there, but take it nice and easy. We'll be going at a nice steady pace. We'll be maybe go for a bit of a walk. We'll have a stop. We'll look at the view. I always believe in looking at the view, so that you're having a bit of a rest, a little bit of a chat, then we'll move on again. So we'll just sort of take it step by step. Keep our group together, and if there's a hare, I'll try and pull you back. If there's a snail, don't worry about it, we're going to wait for you. So normally in a group you get kind of a combination. So bear with us, anybody that's the hares, bear with us, take it nice and handy. Anybody the snails, don't worry, we're going to keep you with us. Okay, so a nice relaxed day. So let's head off. Oh yeah, here comes the sun. This is part of the Gaeltacht. Currane is very strong in the Gaelic Irish language. And I mean, when you look at the names of the houses here, Teach, Hughie, Beag, so small Hughie's house. But it's a nice tradition, you know, to have a house. One of the plants that we have here that you're probably very familiar with is wild rhubarb, we call it, but it's gunnera. And gunnera comes from South America, from Peru. Brought in by our cousins from across the pond, the English, to give shade to the gardens. And it thrives in the acid soil and others in the boggy soil. But it's quite a spectacular plant. So spectacular, and it grows so well that a number of years back we got UCC, the botany department, to do a study on it to see if it was any good, because we thought we were going to make a fortune out of this stuff. So they discovered it was good for nothing, absolutely nothing. Just point out something to you. Currane is a bit like the Aran Islands, a lot of ditches here, a lot of stone ditches, because there's lots of stone here on it. And we call it Currane stone, but it's all red sandstone. So the red sandstone you see here, we call it Currane stone, but it's some of the highest hill in Ireland is made of sandstone, Currane Hill. But I just want to point out the lazy beds here, or the ridges. And you look into the fields here and there's all kinds of rushes growing in it. And I said to my mother one time, I said, yeah, I remember when these fields were green. And she says, I remember when they were black. In other words, they were sown, they were dug up. So this landscape that we're walking through here now is relatively green, grassy, whereas this would have been all sown with potatoes. And when you look across the hills, you look at the field systems going up the mountains, and then you see these scratch marks in the fields. That's the evidence of what we'd call glosher, or the lazy beds. Whoever called it lazy beds never sowed a ridge of potatoes in their lives, because there's nothing lazy about it. Glosher would be the Achill name for it. But yeah, so that's the evidence of the population that was on the island pre-famine. Like the population of Achill would have been over 6,000 people, and now we've got 2,500. So it just shows you that the population has declined massively. After the famine, we probably lost maybe about 1 million people, sorry, beg your pardon, 1,000 people, over 1,000 people during the famine time. Most of that would be to immigration. From 1841 to 1851, we'd have lost over 1,000 people. And then the immigration just hemorrhaged away at our people right up to the present day. And look at the view you have there. Yeah. Not exactly great, it's not bad. But then you turn around and look at the view you have there. So you don't need much elevation to actually get a fantastic view. So a lot of people think they have to go up onto high hills to, you know, have a nice walk. In fact, a lot of the walks, lovely walks, are the lower hills. So when you look here, you can see we just crested the hill here a little bit. But I mean, if you start on the left-hand side, you got Croagh Patrick immediately left. So you just see the top of it, and if you see the little bobbly bit on top, that's the church on top. Built in 1905 on a pre-existing, well, there's a pre-existing oratory there, dates back to 800 AD. So early Christian, and in the vicinity you've got a fort with old buildings there that would go back pre-Christian. So an interesting hill, and the significance of Croagh Patrick is that from a navigation point of view, it's visible from a big span of sea, because that would have been the motorway in the past, and now we came up the modern Tarmacadam Road, but everything was moving. Until fairly recently, you didn't have roads in Achill until the mid-1800s. They started to be developed 1830 from then on, but before that you had basic tracks, horse tracks, and footpaths and that type of thing. Actually, the Gaelic for a road is a bóthar, and for a footpath is a cusán. Now a cusán, your cus is your foot, so that's your cusán, and then a bóthrín is where one cow could pass, and a bóthar is where two cows could pass each other, because boar or cattle was the currency in the past. So your riches were based on cattle, but that goes back to the bóthar that you're walking on. That's just a bit of useless information. That's yeah. If you look across, then we're going from Croagh Patrick. You're looking at the Sheafree Hills, the Duloc Valley, that big valley just straight ahead of us, and then the highest hill in Connacht is Meal Ree on the right hand side, that highest point. And then to the right of Meal you got the 12 bins, the Banabiona, and that's Sliabh Bán, the one there in the middle, the highest of the 12 bins. And then you're kind of swinging then to the right, you're probably looking at Tully Mountain, Clifton area in that direction. And of course the big island in front of us here is Clare Island, and the one in the foreground is Achill Beg, with a beautiful beach there, Trá Bód Beach, right in the foreground. You can see Clare Island made up of two hills. And believe it or not, there's nobody living on it now, but in the past you had a very live population. 1841 you would have had 180 people living there. So it was a thriving island. And then after the famine, it actually held its population. There was 32 houses there, and most of those houses were still there after the famine in 1851. But gradually, people left in the hemorrhage right up until the mid-1960s, 1965. The last people to come across, I remember a woman and her husband moved in, and her family moved in beside us. Delia Kilban and Micheál Kilban, or Delia. There were Gallaghers and Kilbans mainly on that island, mainly. So Kilban married a Gallagher, but they immigrated to the UK, never to come back. And I was only a boy at the time, 65. I was one. But I've never seen them back. No, they may have come back. So.
Anybody in Clare Island?
Yeah, at the moment the last census was 92 people. Yeah, what's keeping Clare Island going is if you look at the fish farm there, you just see it. Yeah, Clare Island organic fish farm. You can see the cages just in front of you.
But also over to the left.
Yeah, on the left as well. Yeah. They're all cages.
Of what sort of fish?
Salmon.
Yeah.
Oh, salmon. Yeah. Most of the salmon you get in the west here now would be Clare Island Fish Farm, and then some of it is smoked in Achill. Yeah. And then on the right hand side you've got the lighthouse, or what was the lighthouse. Now all our hills here are glaciated. So the landscape in Ireland is all glaciated. So 10, 12,000 years ago, you had a sheet of ice, the ice melted and then carved the hills. But but stones you're talking about, sediments tend to be 300 million years old. Then you get some of the oldest stones in Ireland are in North Mayo. They'd be gneiss, G-N-E-I-S-S, and they'd be 600-700 million years old. So the time scale is just massive. And then of course your igneous, your granites and your basalts, I mean, I don't know if you ever picked up a piece of basalt, but it's dense, it's heavy, It's sort of made out of little tiny particles. Whereas a sandstone, you kind of rub it and it feels like sandpaper, Limestone is a lot softer, it can be smoothed off. And limestone, of course, is very important for lots of reasons. It used to be used for building, as in mortar. You burn the limestone, forms a mortar, and also put it on the land to change the pH level, go from acid to alkaline. And talk about acid to alkaline. That's the humble sphagnum moss or bog moss. Antiseptic quality, used as a poultice, especially in this First World War. But today it's used in products such as odor eaters and other products. But it can hold.
I don't know whether it's believed anymore.
It can hold 20 times its volume in water. See, you just squeeze it. So that's the building blocks of a bog. So obviously what happened was, like our bog that we're looking at, this is all blanket bog. And this bog has been touched by man. You can see it's exposed. So probably you had a bigger blanket of bog over there, and that would have been cut away over the centuries. But what happened was the climate got wetter, and then a wet climate, you had a lot of waterlogged areas, and the sphagnum moved in on it. And sphagnum can do a number of things, but it loves, you got 3 different types. You got aquatic, semi-aquatic, and terrestrial, and they tend to make hummocks but they can take oxygen from the water as well. So when it dies, it doesn't fully decompose. So then you get a build-up of residue of this stuff, and then with compression, it forms into peat. So the peat you're looking at is about 3,500 years old. And the next stage would be lignite, the next stage would be coal. So that'll be and all coming from a very humble plant. The bog moss or sphagnum moss. Now we're kind of leveling off somewhat. We're climbing all right, but it's not steep. So that's the hard work done. Now while you're standing here taking a breath, have a look at the view down there. You got Clare Island, a great view of Clare Island and Achill together. So that's Throw jargon. Then you got the sound, Achill Sound, and it goes all the way down to the bridge. They call the Michael Davitt Bridge, just in case you didn't know. And the area Achill Sound, it hasn't got a name at all. Actually, the proper name for Achill Sound is Gobahora, meaning the point of the whirlpool. So where the waters meet. So when the water is filling, if you look at the RNLI boat, it's pointed to the south. That means the water is filling. And you got high water today about 11:30. So in about maybe a half an hour's time, you'll have high water. It's a neap tide, and then she'll start emptying. So it fills from the south as far as the bridge, and it fills from the north as far as the bridge. So if you were in a kayak or a sailboat or whatever, you want to go with the flow, you'd go with the filling tide to the sound, wait for the tide to change and go. Now the problem is it actually meets Gobahora this side of the bridge, south of the bridge. So you have to open the bridge to get, and that's another issue. It's electronic, electric, and salt water and dampness doesn't really like those bridges. But and then way in the distance, you can see the tip of Currane, the highest hill on Achill. And if you look at it, it's like a rat or a mouse on top. And the ears, see the ears sticking up? That's a little thing called on Marca, the jockey, as if the jockey's on the back of the mountain. on Marcach. And the whole back of that mountain is missing, giving you the highest sea cliffs in Ireland. Yeah, well, Patrick's Day we would start, and then we're saving it for the rest of the year. But what you want is this kind of weather, nice dry and a lovely wind that takes the moisture out of the turf. And then all you got to do, like that one's getting his skin already. That hasn't been cut too long. But all you got to do is, I would nearly go from there, I wouldn't spread it, I'd just stand it. I'd foot it straight away and then let the wind through it. And then from the footing, you can put it into the bags, bring it over here and leave it with the rest. Yeah. Be a good spot for a song, would it?
Yeah.
While we're doing nothing. Make yourselves comfortable. Ah, yeah, she's out of tune. That's good. Sounds better when it's out of tune. I was going to write a song about a kayak trip I did from Clare Island, from Clew Bay to Blacksod Bay. But I discovered halfway through the song it's going to be 20 verses, so I had to cut it down. And it actually turned out to be called the Michael Davitt Bridge. So I'm leaving Clare Island in my kayak, going by Clew Bay, onto Achill Island, and then down the Sound, past Carricknallunya, which is a couple of rocks that are in the middle of nowhere, basically, and then heading to Achill Sound itself, to the Michael Davitt Bridge. I don't know if you've never ever noticed the Michael Davitt Bridge. On top there's a big gantry. It's like the bones of a whale sitting on top of it, or a white spider, and the Gaelic for white spider is an Duan Allah. So it's like a Duan Allah sitting on top, and like I said, Gobahora is where the waters meet. That's at Achill Sound. So now you have all the words. Leaving Clare Island, I swing by Clew Bay, with its many islands, one for each day. Onto Achill Lighthouse, Botschaft Beach, a rest on its golden sand and a look at the sheep. The wreck of the flying cloud below me lies deep. I speed through the narrows, the tides are on neaps, to the Michael Davitt Bridge, gateway to Achill. So it's all downhill from here, guys. No more talking.
Be at Achill Island, at this magical place, and to see how literature can bring people together, inspire them, give them direction and teaches them. And I'm very grateful that a group of local enthusiastic volunteers keep on this tradition of this festival, bring together literature from Germany and Ireland and elsewhere, and bring people together and build bridges.